Welcome to This Week in West Hempstead, sponsored by Spiegel Law PC, 516-873-1683, Tiffany Dry Cleaners, and Reister's Bakery. Here are your hosts, David and Norm. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dan and Norm. Good
Welcome
to be
back.
Yeah, I was doing a little traveling. If you had to find a week to travel,
Worst,
last
right?
week, well, on the one hand, it was bad, and the flights were a mess. Especially getting back took me a couple of days until I actually did it. But being away in an area that was like above freezing, not so bad.
Right. You can't complain.
But whoa, what a... I came back and, I didn't, we haven't seen snow like this in, a couple of years.
Yep.
Keep in mind, for a living, News 12, for like 2 decades, I handled all the school closings for the tri-state area.
There's no such thing.
Whenever there was a snow, my kids and my wife would certainly know, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm driving down the southern state with the snow plows. I mean, I love snow.
Me too.
But you know what? As I get older, not so much, especially when it's covered with like this, thick ice that like.
Oh, that was tough.
Cleaning the car today was like, oh, what a mess.
Snow is pretty if it's outside and you are inside.
Yes.
It's not so pretty if you're outside dealing with it.
So, let's break it down because, this is the story. It's the snow and it's the cold. This is things that, people are talking
Right.
about.
So I'm lucky. People on my block, everybody shovels. People help each other in digging their cars out. There's still cars entombed. I mean,
they're cars, and then the plows can't get around, and the road, melts a little bit and turns into ice, and it just becomes a huge disaster. The piece that I want to first talk about is what you just mentioned about neighbors helping neighbors. So we weren't home. And, my neighbors who are just the best neighbors ever, I have Tom and I have Sue and I have Diane and all their families. Everyone pitched in. I had one taking in the mail. I had Tom and with the snowblower and his kids shoveling out.
Great.
And Sue helping my other neighbor. So it was just amazing. So I come home and it's like everything's spotlessly clean. I was like, wow, this is great. My back doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
But the whole idea.
Did you bring anybody cookies is the question after that.
Yes.
Big time.
I do owe big time. And you have to check on your neighbors if you have elderly people. In this frigid cold, God forbid you lose heat. It's a real problem.
Yeah, and there are trees going down regularly with the ice. So that is a problem.
Well,
I think we haven't had many outages in our neighborhood, though.
I haven't heard of any outages during this storm. And actually, that was the thing that I was most worried about was if I had an outage and then if I lost heat, and then if the pipes freeze, then you got big problems.
Big problems.
Thankfully, didn't happen. So Hall's Pond, Adam went and took a picture of Hall's Pond completely frozen over. We got a great response from it.
I saw it recently. I drove by it last night, and then it was really solid.
But not when
But
you go.
it wasn't solid.
It
'cause
wasn't.
Somebody had to go out there, and you should know this if you've ever been around this. You don't skate on a pond that looks like it's frozen. I don't know if somebody actually went out there, but somebody's like, don't skate on the pond because that stuff looks thick, but it isn't.
Yeah, and you could actually fall in and get
100%.
wet up to your knees.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's all of 2 feet deep. It's a
the water
puddle.
it cracks and you're just standing.
This is not a lake. This is a puddle.
But as I was driving by today, I noticed that by the footbridge, there's actually water there. It's not completely frozen. So again, you know what? Don't walk, don't ice skate, take beautiful pictures. I'm sure there were kids who were going down, with sleds and whatever, down the hills there or by the school. Enjoy it, but bundle up. It is cold
really?
outside.
And we should talk
cold.
about that for a second because that's part of the problem right now is that, all right, we got a foot or whatever of snow on Sunday into Monday, but because the temperatures are so cold, this stuff is staying. We're going to be sitting with this stuff probably, I hate to say it, but into March or something because it's not melting.
Didn't seem too windy today, but when you put the wind factor in, you're talking about single digits, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Now here's the problem. Most people do what they're supposed to do, and they clean their sidewalks and they clean their walkways, and they're very meticulous about it. And then there are those people who, for whatever reason, some of them may be legitimate reasons, and maybe they're not feeling good or whatever it is, they don't. And that becomes a problem. So of course, social media, there was a whole bunch of different threads on Facebook, and I saw one on Nextdoor because someone ratted out another person in another town, and this person was like so angry. It's a real issue. I mean, how many people really call the town of Hempstead or, and rat out their neighbors?
Look, there is a phone number that they can call, but the reason people are calling is because there's just no consideration. I mean, if a neighbor needs help, they should reach out for help and get their sidewalks done. I mean, kids are going to school now.
Yeah, kids are going to school. If you're a dog walker, you know how incredibly hard it is to walk your dog, let alone the fact that there's salt and it gets into their paws and it's ice, it's slippery. I can't tell you how many times.
Right, and if you have handicap issues, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I will look. There are older people out there who can't shovel. There are people who can't afford to pay somebody to do it. I was out there between Sunday and Monday 3 separate times with a large snowblower, and I was exhausted by the time it was done. I did my neighbors, and my neighbors across the street were traveling, and so I tried to do at least a run for them, and it was hard stuff to work through. So I don't blame people, but at a certain point, it's like, you're causing danger to others.
Well, yeah, you don't blame them, but they have to take responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're a homeowner. But I do have, some empathy for those who can't do it. But reach out to your neighbor and let them know. Maybe there's help. And, there are advertisements that I saw popping up all over for kids who are looking to make a buck, and they come to your house and dig you out. So, all over the place.
But are we getting more? Are we getting more?
No, you know what? They're talking about. I forgot the term when like the
cyclone, boom cyclone, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's very rare. It's when you hear thunder and maybe even lightning.
What does that got to do with snow?
Because it's a nor'easter, and there's all sorts of energy. But from what I'm hearing, what we're looking at, it's all going out east. So there may be some coastal flooding, which doesn't impact West Hempstead, and maybe a little bit windy. May get a little dusting or an inch or two. As of now, it could change. It could change any second. Dan. So I use island weather.
Island-wide weather. They were very helpful when we were prepping stories while Dave was stuck out of town, just to fill us in. I mean, I haven't looked at it since about 12 o'clock today, but last I knew they were saying everything's moving out east. A lot of it's going to happen over the ocean, so I guess the fish are going to be covered in snow, but we may dodge that particular bullet. Again, the temperatures are still going to be down in the sub-basement.
Oh, yeah, this weekend is going to be crazy. And, I dealt a lot with Bill Corbell and Rich Hoffman, the meteorologist over at News 12. Greatest guys. Corbell knows his stuff. Both of them know their stuff inside and out. But on TV news, you just get like a little tiny sliver of what's going on. These island weather guys, they live and breathe this stuff, and they keep growing. So you can go check them out on Facebook. I
love these stations that have mobile weather stations. I mean, it's a painted car with a thermometer.
Come on, I invented that.
What are you talking about? First on the scene of the weather. I mean, it's raining.
We literally used to have News 12, car driving around, and someone would roll down the windows and stick the camera out, and it's like
mobile weather.
It's kind of like when Dan and I were once filming Woodfield, with a GoPro out
that didn't end well. Yeah, so come out on Sunday, you'll see Dave standing there like Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel. Like,
it's a Psycho Blast. Whatever. All right, I think we've exhausted weather, unless there's anything else.
You beat it to death.
I'm exhausted.
Bottom line is, take it easy, be careful. Look out for your neighbors, and watch out for the ice. It's a real big problem. So switching gears, kind of getting back to local stuff. This is great. There's going to be a 50-year high school reunion for West Hempstead high school. I don't know if I can call it high school as opposed to the secondary school, but I believe
in 1976
for the class of
that's what it was.
1976.
It was still high school.
It's going to be taking place Saturday, April 18th at Lambros in Island Park. And there'll be some contact information up on Facebook for Maureen Wareham. You can reach out to her. Well, basically, she's looking to be able to contact all these people after 50 years. A lot of them don't have contact for West Hempstead. So, they're looking to kind of gather everyone together. And it's really exciting.
It is very cool. I'm surprised they're only doing 1 year. Usually they take like a decade of people. You think they have that many people going to show up from 50 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know.
By the way, 1976 was 20 years ago, right?
1976.
It feels like it was 20 years
yeah,
ago.
I know.
Here we go.
It's the 250 year, bicentennial. So I guess having the 50-year anniversary, I don't know. Maybe it's more important. Who the hell knows?
I think you need a commercial.
But yeah, I need a break. I need some rock salt to go drink. Anyway, let's go take a commercial break, Dan.
Hi, I'm Jeff Wenger, owner and operator of Tiffany Dry Cleaners. We've made things even easier. Schedule a cleaning pickup just with one click on our new app or website. And don't forget, we offer free pickup, delivery right to your door. Tiffany Dry Cleaners gets it just right.
So, Norm, when I was scanning through all things West Hempstead, getting ready for the show, I came across an article that was in the Herald, a feature article in the Herald about the library. It was, a great article, nice picture of Regina Massia, and she talked about all the exciting things that are be going on at the library, including
constantly renovating, constantly fixing
the
place up.
children's room is incredible. They've updated the reference areas. They had all their problems with the flood, and that's been fixed. Of course, you got the cone of silence, and that seems to be heavily used. I don't know. They call them meeting pods. That sounds not as exciting as the cone of silence. And they're expanding.
Is that like the coffee pods that you put in the Keurig or something?
Yeah, you just. There you go. They have much more programs coming up for kids and teens and adults, and all sorts of stuff.
Babies.
Yeah, and so of course they. Of course, when they talk about the library, I always got to come up with, with something. They talked about the library of things. By the
way, I love this idea.
Well, so they said in the article that the library things that'll be coming out later this year. I mean, first of all, the lockers are there. How long does it take to fill the lockers with things?
Well, but they got to put cool things in. I mean, they're talking about putting telescopes in. I would borrow a telescope.
No, I want chainsaws. I want really cool stuff for adults.
Look, I got all kinds of crap in my garage if they're looking for stuff.
You can fill it up with the from my attic anything they want.
I think they should do a post about what kind of things you would like to see in the library of things.
Really, what do they have in mind? They're going to put lawnmowers? I mean, what are people going to borrow?
I don't know. I know some of the libraries have like a whole variety of things, including games and outdoor games.
That's a great idea.
Things that you don't always, see. So, of course, having, telescopes and children audio devices and things like that are great.
Great idea.
But chainsaws. Okay.
Okay. So
you want pickup trucks? Dave, you want pickup trucks also that you can get from the library?
Yes, I do want pickup trucks. And one of my grandsons would just go crazy about it. They're also making the front doors better accessible, easily accessible with sliding doors as opposed to what you have now. You got to go press the button. So I think that's great. But of course, the question that's on everyone's minds. No, actually, the question that's only on my mind is, when are they going to be able to take credit card payments for all the things that they have in the library? I scanned the article looking, is there anything about credit cards?
You won't need money for the things, right?
One day they'll have credit card payments. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. So before I went away, there was a couple of meetings regarding charter, the Diamond Charter School. And
in Hempstead
wanting to start a program in West Hempstead for like 2 years. They had to have a public hearing.
They're basically renting space, right?
I believe so.
I don't think it's going to be a West Hempstead.
I think that's the ask. I don't have any real news to report. I did see a couple of things on Facebook, and I had heard that there was some contentious comments made about unions.
There are some things that we saw when we were first doing our look into this. There are groups, I think, that are opposed to this. I think they're concerned about taking public money and putting it off to some charter school and this, that, and the other thing. We don't know enough about it right now to be able to come up with anything, but it's not a done deal yet, I think.
No, I for sure not. And I reached out to Terrence McLean. He's the external affairs and admissions manager, and I hope to set up an interview with him in the coming weeks and kind of get some perspective from them. But it could be, potential drain on West Hempstead, and I'm not exactly sure why. But I do know, even currently now, because of the fact that the school district has to provide busing for kids who want to go to charter schools outside of the school district. That's part of the issues that we were dealing with, with the whole busing and the cost overruns.
I'm almost certain the school board is going to ask for compensation.
Oh, of course.
So it's going to be all part of the price. Busing is part of the price. School lunches and it's a package.
But at the end,
we also have some of this. I thought already in place that the Gersh School or whatever down on Eagle Avenue, where it's not a school district school, but they're renting space from the West Hempstead district.
And that's what I was imagining it was going to be.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that maybe this would be a plus because we'd be getting some fun. Again. Weren't at the meeting, so we need to really get some of the details, and we got to follow up with the school district and get their perspective. And this is definitely a developing story. And as we get into the wonderful, wacky, and wild world of school budgets, I'm sure this is going to be an issue that's going to come to the surface. Wow, I'm just exhausted from all the shoveling. I'm telling you, I'm running out of gas.
That's from the guy who didn't do any. By
That's
the way.
right. I had to clear. Watching his neighbors shovel.
I had to clear my cars. My God, it was horrible. No, again, it's.
Well, we came home when we had a fire. It was cozy. We had Reister's cookies. So as good as it gets. I love those cookies.
Well, that's Listen, as you know, you go to our bakery and that's our and bakery.com, and you can get whatever you want, that old school flavor, shipped right to your house or shipped to your college kid who's up in Utica or wherever, freezing their tuchuses off, and maybe they're gonna have a hot chocolate and they're gonna have an incredible Reister's cake. Right. So go to their site, order it. It'll be great.
Stay warm, everybody.
Yeah, stay warm and check in on your neighbors and visit us next week on This Week in West Hempstead. Dan, I think I'm ready to sign off.
It's so good for me.
All right.
Have a good week, everybody.
Take care. Stay safe.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please be sure to visit our sponsors, Spiegel Law PC, Tiffany Dry Cleaners, and Reister's Bakery. To find out more or to reach out to us, come visit us on social media at Facebook and Instagram, or visit our website at westhempsteadecho.com.